So yeah, guys, I don't know what needs to happen over at Twitch, either for the platform or for their conventions or their events or whatever. I don't know what needs to go down in order for them to really start to, I guess, care at this point. We're going to go through a list of things that has happened over at TwitchCons, notably the most recent thing happening with Emiru on the first day of TwitchCon 2025 and her being sexually assaulted, more or less. We're going to talk about a bunch of things that happened over that, as well as TwitchCon or Twitch as a platform, realistically. Now, I'll go through my history with Twitch. Some of you may know that I've been a content creator and streamed on Twitch for a while, for a very long while. And I kind of want to go through, again, the reasons why I kind of left the platform. And curious at this point what needs to happen and change in order for me to even consider the platform anymore. So many things have gone wrong with it, and I'm definitely not in the minority, I think, of reasons why I don't care for the platform nearly as much anymore. As well as, like, there's nothing... I don't want to say there's nothing redeeming about it. It still has its original intention as a live streaming platform for video games, even though it's completely split from that with the addition of IRL years ago, and how, you know, people have kept in the back of their minds that there were two versions of Twitch. There was a previous Twitch that was all about games, and now there's current Twitch, which is just a dumpster fire, more or less. We're going to go through some of that, as well as whether or not the Twitch platform is actually doing well right now. So before we get into any of that, be sure to like this video if you guys like it, and be sure to sub for more. I would greatly appreciate it. We're not going to show any other things. I'm going to keep this full face cam for today's video because, frankly, I don't need to bring up anything else. You guys at this point already know. I more or less haven't posted a video in 4 days. Friday and yesterday, Monday, I was busy doing some other stuff, so I couldn't post anything. But nonetheless, over the weekend, this has been kind of evolving as it happened on Friday. So Emiru was assaulted physically. She was assaulted, I would say, sexually as well at TwitchCon during the meet and greet session on the first day, on Friday, the 17th of October. And there's videos that you guys can find showing exactly what happened. I don't need to bring it up again. Again, this was over the weekend, so I think at this point you all pretty much know what happened. But the more egregious thing about this is that the guy, whoever he was, went through the entire security bits right in front of the meet and greet, and probably out front. I'm assuming he probably paid for a ticket to get in. I don't know at that point. But nonetheless, blew through the entire thing, and just while she was already meet and greeting with, I think, another dude that was off to the right hand side from the perspective of the camera, this guy just straight up walked up to her. She said he grabbed her face. I think that's what I pulled up, like multiple articles giving me more details, and then tried to go in for a kiss. I don't think he did, but that's nonetheless sexual assault. Straight up, you going in for a kiss, sexual assault, but it's assault, sexual assault, battery, because he physically touched her. You know, probably some other policy related things of Twitch, as well as the San Diego Convention Center. Probably multiple things this guy was in trouble for. But what's crazy is that this guy then proceeded to just leave the area and then was not picked up again. I'm not sure if he was arrested, taken in by San Diego police. I think at the end of one article, he is yet to have been arrested. I think they just know his identity and are keeping tabs on him, I'm assuming. But Emiru's manager, essentially, they want to file charges. And I'm just like, exactly, you totally should. 100%. Go for it. Like, this is the crazy thing. And then quoted in one of the articles, she said it could have literally been stabbed. Absolutely. Like, the lack of security for her, as well as everyone else, not just her, was probably the biggest level of concern. And some people all over the place were saying, you know, this year's TwitchCon might be a little sketchy to go to. Maybe we shouldn't go to it. Apparently people had a feeling that something was going to go down, and they weren't wrong. So no, it's absolutely crazy that this has happened. But again, this is not the only issue that has happened over the years at TwitchCon. So I pulled up a list of incidents. Some I remember, some I don't remember nearly as much. But just a few years ago in the 2022 TwitchCon, Adriana Chechik broke her back after jumping into a shallow foam pit at a booth, highlighting unsafe event setups. Like, some of it is just unbelievably stupid. But that was an issue. Not just not to really say they're both one and the same, even though I do have a little bit of an anecdote when it comes to something that Amaru went through. Not nearly to that extent, but still. Some of us remember the roofie spiked incident at, I believe it was a partner party. That was during the 2019 TwitchCon. I think there have been some other incidents that have happened there as well. There's been harassment. There's been groping. There's been groping of male streamers as well as female streamers. Stalkers being just outside the convention center or physically inside the convention center, and people walking around are keeping tabs on people more or less. But just so many issues. I guess also in 2019 there was a threat of a shooting potentially. I'm not sure too much about that, but that was one thing that happened in 2019. I did not go to. And then what else? A bunch of stuff, fights, but stuff like that's bound to happen. But more or less the level of security I've noticed, and there was a video, and I can't really verify this video that I saw, but it's a group of people essentially getting through the checkpoints. They had wristbands, badges, whatever to get through this year's TwitchCon, and they got through without any interruption, without any issue. They had it, and I guess they run their wrist over this like device in order for it to check. It didn't pop up, and security nonetheless let them in. Again, I'm not saying that's like the most cut and dry issue of security just didn't care. They just let him in because they had the thing, even though it wasn't popping up. And then they proceeded to go to the meet and greet area and say they were part of someone else's crew. And they're just like, yeah, go ahead. Like just the lack of security, the lack of care is more, I'd say, pertinent to this issue. But all sorts of stuff like that. I have also got, like I said, a little bit of an anecdote. So a little bit of an anecdote. So this was during the 2017 TwitchCon, because I've been to the 2016 one, 2017, and 2018, all three in a row. Didn't go to 2019, obviously, and then haven't been to a TwitchCon ever since. But during that one, so we were getting into the convention center, and we were on the barricade outside, going through the metal detectors before you're allowed to proceed inside. And so my girlfriend at the time, but my wife and two of our friends went through one line. I tried going through another line because it was a lot shorter, and I was like, boom, I'm going to get in and beat them all to it. I think their line was longer, mine was shorter, so I was just like, I got this. So I proceed to go in from one line, they go in through the other line, and then I get in through the other side, and I see my wife just upset. So they tell me that two of my friends went through, and then my wife is going through. My wife went through the metal detector. It didn't blink or anything like that, so we're just like, we're fine. But the guy said, actually, can you do it one more time? Just whatever, you can do it one more time. So she went back, walked through, and then the guy proceeded to say, no, yeah, you were fine. I just wanted to watch you walk through the metal detector again. And she was livid. She was absolutely livid. She turned around to see if I saw that. I wasn't there. Like I said, I was in the other line, and we were just like, bro. We didn't do anything about it, but, you know, it's just been a reoccurring thing. And this was security. This was security hired by Twitch, but it was convention center security. And again, this is LA, San Diego, LA, two separate places completely. But, you know, stuff like this happens. Stuff like this happens all the time. And it's disgusting. It's annoying more than anything. And then, of course, there was later stuff that happened actually to her again at a bar kind of in the area. But, you know, there's so much degeneracy. Like, let's be honest. There's so much degeneracy around gaming and gaming culture and at these conventions and whatnot. It's so prevalent. It's so everywhere. And at this stage, I'm just kind of over it. So, and like I said, I've not been to TwitchCon since 2019, and it evolved from this constant showcasing of just lack of care, of just craziness, and we were just like, we're good. We don't need to show up anymore. And yeah, that was the year, 2019 was the year that the roofie incident happened at the Twitch partner party. So yeah, we just haven't bothered. Now, again, to really stress my, I guess, connection to the Twitch platform. So a lot of you don't know. A lot of you are somewhat new to my channel, new to me as a content creator. But I have been into content creation since 2013. That was the very first time. It was like August 27th, 2013. I believe was the first time I recorded, edited, and upload a video to YouTube. A little bit after that, I discovered Twitch, because this was already a year or two after Justin TV became Twitch. And then I was just like, ooh, live streaming video games. I'm going to do that. Did that for a number of years. And then I don't remember when I swapped over to doing YouTube streaming, but that took place years ago. And then now I've been more into uploading videos and shorts and stuff like that, but primarily streaming on YouTube, and that being the home of content, and just leaving Twitch straight up. And like I said earlier, I was also part of the affiliate program. I canceled that immediately because the benefits, or there were too many cons to completely overshadow the pros. I was not in it anymore. Wasn't making any money, because money really wasn't the purpose, more or less. It wasn't the goal. It was to grow, essentially. And Twitch just never, and still to this day, does not offer any form of growth on the platform. Twitch is a place you go to when you already have an established audience, and you just stream and you just hang out with a bunch of people. That's more or less it. You do not start there. You start somewhere where there's more evergreen content as it's been put. So that's why the YouTube switch, and that's why I proceeded to do more content on YouTube, live streaming, shorts, and now doing these videos for the past month and a half. So that's been my journey thus far. And yeah, Twitch was just, it started in good spirits, I guess, but then it's just devolved into just nothing to really be affiliated with. So I've stayed away from it. I've completely stayed away from it. And, it's disappointing. It's really disappointing. So yeah, that's pretty much my more or less talking points when it comes to Twitch. It's just, I can't be bothered with it. But I also wanted to get into, it's like, you've got this issue that happened with Emiru. You've got the other issues that have happened over the years with a bunch of other people. Again, lack of care, lack of security, those more or less coincide with each other, but it's all over the place. And I was also curious to see how well Twitch is actually doing as a platform, because again, I've not gone into Twitch. I haven't even watched a Twitch stream in a hot minute. I have one channel that I'm still subscribed to, because it's been my most subscribed channel for, I don't want to say a decade at this point, but we're getting there in a year or two. But other than that, I don't go on Twitch anymore. I can't be bothered with Twitch. But I want to see, nonetheless, after, potential lawsuits can come from this particular incident, or maybe other future incidences, because based on the precedent that has been set, it looks like it's just going to keep happening. I also wanted to bring up, I totally forgot about this. I also want to bring up that Twitch posted a tweet, X post, whatever, about what happened during the event. Pretty, I wouldn't say lengthy, but I'll just go ahead and read it out. The safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday, involving a high-profile streamer, was completely unacceptable and deeply unsettling. I don't think it really matters how high profile it is. If it happens to anyone, it happens to anyone, and they deserve to get banned from the platform, from the convention center, and taken into police custody. Sexual assault, that's not a slap on the wrist sort of deal. It's like, get the cops involved. If they want to press charges, press charges. In line with existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement, event security were on site and responded to the incident. We immediately blocked this individual from returning to the TwitchCon premises, and they are banned definitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. We are coordinating with the impacted creators team, and per our standard protocol, continue to cooperate with any law enforcement investigations. We have increased security at the meet and greet attendee check-in point, and will have additional security personnel surrounding participating streamers. If you've RSVP'd for meet and greet, please note that we are unable to accommodate +1s for the remainder of the event. Twitch has a zero tolerance for harassment or acts that inhibit the safety and security of our community. That is quote unquote verbatim from their own post on X by the main Twitch account. Readers added context. They thought people might want to know context at the bottom of it. Twitch staff originally allowed the assailant to walk away and only apprehended him and escorted him out when they were pressed to do so by Emiru's manager. Also, numerous accounts have said that while the tweet says no more +1s, they indeed allowed them. So I don't know at this point. I don't know if there's just straight up incompetence. It seems like it's. or just a lack of care. It's probably multiple, and it's not baseline. It's very high up there. It's very strong. No one cares at this point anymore. So future TwitchCons, I don't know, guys. I would say keep your head in a swivel and don't be high profile when you go there. More or less the case. If you're just there hanging out in San Diego, Gaslamp District, totally feel it. But I don't know. I don't know at this point. But yeah, so forgot to bring that up because that was just something not nice. There's nothing nice to say about it. But again, finally, at the end of this video, I want to bring up just how well Twitch is performing because, again, if Emiru or any other incidents happen where they press charges to the person, as well as if there's any backlash for Twitch, how well is Twitch doing as a platform? Like, I wanted to see what happens. So I pulled up Perplexity AI to give me, and I just asked it, how has Twitch done for revenue and concurrent viewership on the platform over the past year? I want to see currently where they're at, and whether or not it's going to take a lot of us to be like, no, we just can't be bothered with Twitch, for them to actually care anymore. But more or less what I got, Twitch has generated billions of dollars over 2025. The most amount of the revenue, the subscription income makes up 58% of its total revenue. So subscriptions are absolutely huge. About a third of it comes from advertising, and bits and other microtransactions make up about 10% of it. So we know what the split is more or less, and we know they're raking in still a pretty decent amount of money, just shy of like $2 billion. Estimated revenue so far in 2025 has been 1.8, so they'll probably reach $2 billion by the end of the year. The user and viewership statistics. Twitch has now served 240 million active monthly users globally, with 35 million daily active users, as indicated of sustained high engagement. That is pretty high engagement, not going to lie. Average concurrent viewership in 2025 was approximately 2.29 million, slightly down from 2.46 million in 2024. Not that big of a deal. So it's been, Twitch as a platform has been mostly more or less a growing revenue generation company platform with a pretty stable monthly viewership activity. So nothing bad from their end. It's just, again, when it comes to this TwitchCon stuff, and you know, we've also had problems with the platform as well when it comes to the type of content. I don't need to go through the history of that. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about if you guys been on the platform or been paying attention to Twitch over the years. But it's just been such a dumpster fire. I just couldn't stick with the platform anymore. I felt dirty, more or less. And, you know, YouTube's got its own problems. Every platform's got their own problems. But no, it's always been since the addition of IRL that Twitch has kind of steered away from its original purpose, and it's just devolved. Like, that's the only word that really makes sense. It's devolved into something completely different. And I just can't put up with the platform anymore. So I left. I don't buy anything on the platform. Again, I have one subscription, and at this point, I might even consider ending it. Because again, it's over 100 months, you know, if and when I feel like going to that streamer's channel and being like, hey, I've been here for, I don't know. I kind of don't care anymore. And, you know, it sucks that the subscription price has gone up. I think it went up like $1 for the base one, and that's the only one I buy. It's just the base one, not the $15 a month or $25, $30. I don't know what the price points are anymore. Tier 1 sub. Always and forever. Never been to tier 2, never been to tier 3. Can't be bothered. Never gifted. Bought bits probably once for like $5, but nah. I just can't with Twitch anymore, man. And it, you know, it pains me to see stuff like this happen. Cause it's just, and nothing's new. It's always something, I suppose. And it's like, what's it going to be next year? You know, who's going to have a horrible situation happen to him next year? And it's like, do we put up with this? Or do we just straight up say, guys, we got to leave them. We got to stop. We got to tell Twitch, this is unacceptable. You cannot keep having these kind of issues. Now, I'm looking at only in a very, I guess, narrow scope of conventions and also at San Diego. I'm not sure what other conventions have, you know, San Diego Comic-Con, if they have just an incredible amount of issues that happen. I don't pay attention to that. Please let me know in the comments down below if you guys know of other conventions, BlizzCon, just whatever, any other conventions, E3, if they have had issues in them that have sparked major controversy that required action from not only the people hosting the convention, what the convention's about, but also the people who run the convention center, wherever it may be. You know, if there's other issues that, and this is just like another thing, then it'd be nice to know. I could also Google it, but also let me know down in the comments if you guys have been to other places that have had major issues, or if you guys have been to other conventions, if TwitchCon has just been the worst performing one, whatever the case may be. And again, I don't know if this is convention center staff and San Diego just sucks, or if this is Twitch staff and Twitch just sucks, or it's a combination of both. Maybe Twitch is not hiring enough people to do it. Maybe they're trying to save costs on it, which is just stupidest thing to save costs on, to be completely real. But again, this just sucks. She didn't deserve that, to have that happen to her. And naturally, she said she's not going to any future ones. Totally don't. Absolutely don't, because it's not safe. Because people, again, dude, like, I don't want to say it's nice that this happened as opposed to something else, but like she said, quoted, could have been stabbed. 100%. Like, something could have been significantly worse. You know, it's bad either way you go around it, but thankfully it was not as bad as it was. And it happened to her, could have happened to someone else, could happen to someone who's not even a high profile streamer. Like, that's the other thing, is that how many other people, if high profile people more or less are not safe from it, what about everyone else? You know, God forbid something even more horrible happens in a future TwitchCon. That's all I got to say. Not to put anything out in the universe, but again, it's just like, what needs to happen, guys? What needs to happen before you guys either can't have a convention anymore, or you guys quite literally beef up everything? You know, if that requires more people hired, paying them more, then that's what it is. It cuts into your profits of the convention. It is what it is. Because if something happens to someone, then it's a considerably worse outcome than just not nearly making as much money. Let's be real. And then, again, going over their financials, at least at a cursory viewpoint, maybe this isn't the full deal. Again, $1.8 billion as of 2025. The year's not even over yet. I don't even know what Twitch's fiscal year is, but, you know, can more money be spent doing that? And if that does, I would imagine the viewer base as well as the attendance of these future conventions will probably go up to meet it. I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. All I know is that it's been a constant issue pretty much since the beginning. I don't know. I don't know what to say. So be sure to let me know down in the comments down below, guys, if you've got anything else to add to this, because yeah, this just, it sucks. Absolutely sucks. Hopefully nothing like this ever happens again, but who's to say at this point? But yeah, with that, guys, that's going to be the end of the video today. Sorry this wasn't more like gamer stuff. This is more like overarching kind of, you know, drama sort of stuff. But it was, I think it's pretty relevant, especially since this is a convention of gamers, more or less. And this is something still prevalent to gaming culture. These are the types of topics I do want to cover, again, if and when they are relatively relevant to the type of content that we're posting, which is gaming and gaming culture, more or less. Gaming culture, thus we talk about it. And it's still a very important topic. So again, guys, can't stress enough, be safe out there. You know, head on a swivel. You know, she did say she hired a particular security guard to assist her. Hey, hire two, hire three. I don't know. And have them quite literally hire linebackers. So, dude, especially as towering as that guy was that assaulted her, like just check him into the wall, dude. Like, why not? Most egregious. And then also, and not to throw shade at literally anyone, but hey, you don't have to be a security guard to, I guess, step in and stop someone from being assaulted like the way she did. So anyone, if you see something wrong, do something about it. Like, again, I guys got a weapon or something and you're just like, I don't know if I want to be here. I totally get it. You know, when something like that pops up, maybe that's not the case, but for that dude to just walk up like that and no one else, I feel it. I don't know what I would do in that situation. And you're also just like, oh, what's going on? But also, who knows? Who knows? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. That's all I got. So with that, dudes, that's going to be the end of the video today. I appreciate it. If you guys like the video, be sure to give it a like. Please let me know down in the comments down below if you guys got anything else to add to the topic, what went down. And of course, sub for more. I would greatly appreciate it. We'll be back on tomorrow with another video. Until then, guys, be safe out there. I can't say anything else. Be safe out there. I will see you guys when I see you guys. Until then, I will see you guys later.